What would you say the biggest mistakes are that young people make when it comes to dating or being in a relationship?
Well, in terms of dating and meeting women, I think people are not themselves, or they think they have to act a certain way that the woman will like. And the problem with that is they're never going to fall for you. Like if you act like you're cool, or you act like you're this, or act like you're that, it's never going to work, because they're falling for not the real you. And then usually 3 to 6 months go by, and then they find out who you actually are, and then it doesn't work. So you need to be yourself from day one. And don't listen to a woman tell you what she wants. You be yourself. She might say, treat me like a princess, buy me this, buy me that, take me here, take me there. They don't respect that. If a woman changes you, if you change for a woman, they're not going to respect you for that. They want to be with the man that is strong enough to be themselves.
Also, I guess another question that leads into that, what gives it away if someone's insecure?
How does a woman know if you're insecure? There's no dead giveaway. I don't think that you can fake this. I think that you either are or you're not. I don't think that I can, as an actor, talk to a beautiful woman and be like, yeah, I'm just cool. And so what people have to do is, I say, progressive overload your business. Like literally, now it might be, I don't know if your show allows these words, but you need to be around women to get used to it. And so if you're a man and you have no self-esteem and you're not confident, you need to start hanging around with girls. Because if we're just 3 guys talking around, we're cool. Maybe you're like, yeah, Craig's so cool. He's so himself. Then a woman walks in and it's like, and then you stutter every word because you're not used to it. So you get used to hanging around girls who are like, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, they're ones. They're 400 pounds, 300 pounds, whatever. You hang around them, you're not intimidated. She's overweight, maybe she's very unattractive, and so you have no trouble with them. You get used to hang around those girls, then you get higher, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Eventually, if you're a guy who has an owner of a nightclub or a strip bar or something, you're hanging around with girls who are very attractive all the time. It's no big deal. So you're naturally going to be the same. But if you only hang around with men and you suddenly go on a date with a beautiful woman, you're not going to know how to act. How you act is the same you do with your bros. But the way you and I would talk if we're best friends, should be the same way you talk to a girl that you just met. If you start acting different, that's when they can tell. So you have to be yourself. But within being yourself, there's your good self and your bad self. Being myself can be shy. Being myself can be confident. Depends on the situation I'm in. If I'm within a bunch of bodybuilders who work out, I'd be very confident. I know all about it. But if I start talking about watches and cars, and I'm like, don't you drive a McLaren and you have a watch? Like, I don't know how much, I don't know about it. I'm not very confident because I don't know that. But if I hung around these people all the time and I learned more, it would become comfortable for me.
So you're saying spend a bunch of time with people of the opposite sex.
Exactly. And start with women who you're not intimidated by. If you're trying to get gorgeous girls, you can't just start by like, I'm just going to hang around a bunch of gorgeous. You'd be uncomfortable. But if you, like guys who have, maybe they have a sister and their sister would bring their girlfriends over and they just naturally talk to these people all the time. It's normal. And so guys are just, in today's day and age, people sit around and game and sit on the computer. When I was younger, you talk to people, you hang around with people, you were in the real world with people. But now people talk via texting and so on. So when you actually go on a date with a girl, you just don't know how to talk because you don't have any practice doing it. So people have a hard time being themselves.
It's a good thing I spend a lot of time with Graham because I feel like I get a lot of feminine energy from him and I can kind of absorb that. And then,
I learned that from Jack. Just being around Jack so much.
Yeah,
his feminine energy really comes over to me.
What would you say are some of the strongest pillars to a successful relationship?
Honesty, communication, people that respect each other. I think the problem is not everyone wants that. I don't think everyone wants their partner to be honest. Does somebody really want them to say, I don't really think you're that attractive. I think you smell bad. I don't think you're cool. So do people really want honesty? So I think people are in relationships. And I would say the reason that 50% of people are divorced is because people aren't in the proper relationships to begin with. But do they even want to be in the proper relationship? Do people really want to be with the person that's going to tell them everything that they think? Like, really, think about it. Everything.
So where do you draw the line? What do you think is like a good ratio for,
I think when in doubt, do it. I think when in doubt, you should do it. It's very difficult because do you really want to say to somebody like, let's say I'm short, I'm 5'6". If my girl is really attracted to 6 foot tall guys, do I want to hear her say like, you're not that tall. I kind of like taller guys. I'm going to feel like you're shitty. But like, if they don't tell you, how do you know what she's thinking? But if you can trust them enough to say things, then they'll be more confident. Well, I really like 6 feet tall, but man, you got some jacked arms. That's cool too. And maybe you're not so high on the tall factor, but you got some nice abs. So I think it's better to just be honest and say, well, I prefer this, but like, I love this.
How much does height matter?
For a woman,
Yeah.
it's excessively important for women. And you're shorter than me. So it's very important. It's as important as looks. Like, it's as important money. And actually, I did some research on this. Every inch is worth about $30,000 a year. So being 5'6", if I were 6 feet tall, I would have to make $180,000 to be the same attractiveness as a man who's 6 foot, just because of my height. So if I were 6'2", I mean, I would be excessively, desirable for women. I have a lot of money and I'm famous. I have muscles. If I was 6'2", huge difference. If I was 5'2", would you date me? No, 5'2", not dating me. I'm a multimillionaire and I'm famous as 5'2" is not happening. What's the minimum height you'd have? 5'4"?
But when you say don't ask a woman what she wants because she won't give you the truth, isn't this an example of that? If you say that, but if you were 5'2", exact same, I would argue she would probably still be dating you.
She would not, but somebody would. There's millions of girls out there, and being 4 foot, let's go with 4'9", it's going to be real hard to get some girls. But if you got millions of dollars, that's worth a lot. We just talk about $30,000 per inch. If you're 6'2" and 6'3", which is that's the ideal male height to get a girl, you're automatically going to get more girls. It's just easier. Now, does that mean I can't get a girl because I'm 5'6"? No. But if I go on a dating service right now and they don't know who I am, and I say, hey, swipe right, 5'6", 49 years old, next. Who wants to date a 49-year-old guy who's 5'6"? Not a lot. But if you say, yeah, famous, millions of dollars, this personality, get to know him first, and that's cool. But if you look at just height parameters on dating sites, most women, 85% not dating guys 5'6". It's so I can only get 15% of women, but 15% of a million girls is still 15,000. So 15% of a billion, there's still lots out there. So, but you are significantly reducing the amount of women who are interested in you. But who cares?
Yeah.
You only need one.
So what is your advice to a guy who's under 5'8", who's trying to get
a short king? Get a hot freaking body and get a lot of money.
Now, what about
literally?
Now, what about personality-wise?
Be yourself again.
But I've seen
your best self.
I've seen some guys who are like 5'6", have nothing going for them, but they are so charming. They are just charismatic, funny, everyone wants to be around them, and they have no trouble despite being short and not having money. But they've got the best personality. Like you just
one thing they are is they're getting into situations where they meet people. Literally, the best personality and charming and ugly and no money is going to get how many dates with people they don't ask out? 0. They're going on that dating site, they're getting 0 dates. They're not meeting any. But if you go to the coffee shops and you go to the sports teams, you're playing volleyball and pickleball and you're going to the clubs all the time and you're meeting people and you're going to social events, you're going to meet people and they're going to be like, wow, you're really cool. I get to know you. But how do you get your foot in the door without having something to offer? Like, you need to be able to show them who you are. And so unless you're going into public places where actually meeting people, you're not going to get to. And the problem is with most men, 85% roughly, they're not going to ask those girls out. They don't dare. They're not going to go to the gym and ask that girl out. But if you have enough confidence to get rejected, oh my God, you ask enough girls out, somebody's going to say yes. Ask 100 girls out. Guaranteed one going to say yes. But how many people ask 100 girls out, even in a year? Do it in a day.
Now, one of the biggest traps with healthy snacks is just how misleading they are. A lot of protein bars, I've noticed, still spike your blood sugar, contain hidden sugars, or contain ingredients you can't even pronounce. And then you're hungry again an hour later. That's why we love the sponsor of this clip, War on Sugar. They make a bar that actually keeps your blood sugar stable, tastes great, and contains ingredients that you recognize.
War on Sugar bars are amazing. They're designed specifically to avoid insulin spikes, and their sweetness comes from monk fruit, which is exactly how they stay sweet without getting that blood sugar response. Plus, they use healthy fats and natural fiber to slow digestion and keep energy steady. And the result is amazing. It's no spike, no crash, and no craving afterwards, just clean, sustained energy that actually lasts.
And the ingredients list is refreshingly simple. No sugar alcohols, no preservatives, no natural flavors. Everything comes from real nuts, real fruits, and real cocoa.
So whether you're watching your blood sugar, eating low carb or keto, traveling or training, or you just need a grab-and-go bar that actually fills you up, War on Sugar is that bar.
They've got great flavors like lemon blueberry, peanut butter pistachio, and chocolate peanut butter crunch.
Seriously, guys, I highly recommend it. Just go to waronsugar.com and use code ICED10 for 10% off your first box. Once again, that is waronsugar.com. ICED10 is the code for 10% off your first box. I have a problem. When I eat, I spike and I crash and I cannot focus. I do not suffer that with War on Sugar bars, so I highly recommend it. Thank you so much to War on Sugar for sponsoring this clip.